Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi. Today I and my friends would like to present about bibliographical services and utilities national and international organization involved in bibliographic control activities. This slide and report will be prepared by IZZATI binti ANUAR and NURUL RAIHAN NABILAH binti KAMAL ARIFFIN. Okay, for section A, bibliographical services and utilities, we choose Online Computer Library Center, which is OCLC. Okay, for the introduction, the Online Computer Library Center, which is OCLC, is a global library cooperative that provides member and the general library community with shared technology services, original research, and community programs. They are librarians, scholars, technologists, entrepreneurs, leaders, and students. OCLC has also partnered with thousands of library members in over 100 countries to make the material more accessible and useful. OCLC is the largest and for-profit library cooperative in the world. It promotes cooperation with libraries in cataloging, interlibrary loans, visual referral, digital archiving, and other services. The OCLC also conducts research that helps institutions to cope with the most difficult challenge. The OCLC also ensure that new technology will make a difference in the life of libraries, researchers, and students. Okay, next we move to history of background information for OCLC. In 1967, Kilgore was hired by the OCA as the first chief executive of what was then called the Ohio College Library Center, or OCLC in the short. They set up OCLC as a non-profit organization. The principal academic goal of OCLC then was to increase the availability of library service for use in educational and research programs in college and universities throughout Ohio. The main economic goal was to bring down the rate at which library costs were rising. A more distant goal was to encourage libraries to effectively provide users with information when and where they need it. OCLC will integrate Ohio University library catalogs via a network of computers and a database. The database will basically be an electronic card catalog containing reviews of books and other materials in the bibliographic records. Libraries would either use the information that already existed in the database to catalog an item, or put it in their own for use in other libraries. When the database and number of use increase, economy of scale would increase. Okay, next for mission, vision, and objective of CLC. Okay, for mission, OCLC missions is to work together to improve access to the information held in libraries around the globe and find ways to reduce costs for libraries through the collaborations. For vision, OCLC vision is OCLC will the leading global library cooperative, helping librarians serve people by providing economic access to knowledge through innovation and collaboration. Okay, for objective of OCLC is to establish, maintain, and operate a computerized library network and to promote the evaluation of library use of libraries themselves and of a librarianship. Moreover, to provide process and products for the benefit of library users and libraries, including such as objective as increasing availability of library resource to individual library patrons and reducing the rate of rise of library per unit cost, all for the fundamental public purpose of furthering is to access for furthering ease of access to and use of the ever-expanding body of worldwide scientific literacy and educational knowledge and information. Okay, next for participation or membership from other bodies, countries, association or types of memberships for OCLC. For decades, OCLC has been partnering with the world's leading publisher and partners with all three of the large aggregators EBSCO, ProQuest and Galley. OCLC currently partner with over 80% of the world's top academic publisher, including Elsevier, Springer, Wheeler, Oxford University Press, and Taylor and Francis. This partnership help libraries represent their electronic and physical collection more fully and efficiently by providing metadata and other descriptive content such as cover art above for more than 1.2 billion resources. OCLC as it helps make their content more widely discoverable, and libraries are assured that valuable materials will quickly and easily get into the hands of the researchers. OCLC partnership with providers of library service streamline workflows, save time, and eliminates redundancies. For example, Iliad, originally developed by Atlas System and distributed exclusive by OCLC, adds flexibility to WordCat resource sharing, automating many of the repetitive tasks involved in material processing. Okay, next for product and service for OCLC. OCLC and its member library cooperative create and manage WordCat, the world's largest online public access catalog, which is OPAC, which is the OCLC Online Union catalog. WordCat is an online library catalog that allows you to scan libraries allows you to scan libraries around the world for books, dissertations, microfilms, journal, and multimedia objects. Once you know the title of the books you like, you can use WordCat, but you do not know which libraries have it. OCLC are also promoting its historic digitization service for newspaper, which allows libraries to search their newspaper microfilms holding from standard web browser. Easy access help libraries to provide users with e-content in easy, convenient, and safe manner, no matter where or when they are looking. EasyProxy was designed for libraries to protect user privacy, making it a trusted solution for nearly 20 years of resource access and authentication. EasyProxy is used by thousands of libraries worldwide to enable easy, secure access to e-resources. Alright, for benefits, OCLC provide many benefits relating to pensions and welfare, like employees of OCLC Online Computer Library Center. Countless Americans rely on group health coverage funded by their employer through which their employer cover a significant percentage of each employee's health insecure premium. OCLC also offers group life insurance, short-term disability or accident insurance, long-distance disability insurance, and death benefit that include specific death row costs. Employer-funded pension plans are helping to ensure a steady income stream in the future. In addition, the OCLC also supports partners who are part of this global library network. When you create and submit your records to OCLC, partners can benefit from the high-quality metadata from OCLC. Libraries see increased use when finding and using your content and tend to renew and positively impact member sales. Next, their customer provide metadata that is updated frequently by the library community and the staff at OCLC. OCLC has produced over around 300,000 records in the last year and distribute over 75 million records to 3,000 libraries for collaborators using their OCLC record development and distribution program. Right, for future planning for OCLC, first, remote use of the service. OCLC is a home for consumers by offering the OCLC service on their device on social media, which is a necessity in their life. The library have moved journals and other print resources into online collection for this purpose. This has the added advantage or challenge of cutting the pile. Okay, for next future planning for OCLC is quick e-sharing. By providing instant access to information, libraries have not only opened their physical space with the transition to electronic collection, but have also support more research needs. Unlike physical collections, libraries do not need to get license for any e-source their users would want. Information seekers can also get e-resources within hours of requesting them via interlibrary loans. Speed is a key to help today's information seekers. Okay, last but not least, for the future planning, which is stay flexible in the future. They see that pattern online reading in OCLC, their response is to make significant investment in resource sharing service, which provide more flexibility for libraries to meet user needs. We also have these plans to promote future resource sharing in addition to SCS, Green Glass, and Woodshare ILL. The next 4 points of view about the organization. Okay, for OCLC to make it look appealing, OCLC needs to upgrade its website graphics to latest trend. This is because I find that OCLC website like WordCat and WebDevar are using old website structure that do not adhere to new technologies and do not represent the library's features of the 21st centuries. Furthermore, OCLC can also make WordCat available to users. We need to make it creative and has design elements. For example, so as not to overwhelm users with too much details such as terms, sentences. The OCLC should then create various language for the user to understand all the language. It is because everyone's capacity to understand English is limited. This is especially true for those coming from rural schools. Okay, for lastly points, which is OCLC will provide apps that incorporate all the service it provides to make it easy to use. This means users do not have to access other platforms in order to open other OCLC services they need to use. Okay, for conclusion, for OCLC and conclusion, OCLC makes knowledge more available and usable by way of work-hard results, syndicate service, and mutual collaborations to end users. Sharing such ideas builds connections inside and outside the culture of library. It unites the thinkers and the actors, and this helps researchers and students accomplish their goals by bringing awareness of the environment into action. Additionally, OCLC offers items about the collection and library that enables users to access the material. In addition, OCLC also allows a user to access information which accesses electronic content remotely. It's good to have OCLC for the use of information retrieval in our life, particularly in managing our time because we can find information fast. Alright, that's all from me. We move to the next.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. The next bibliographical services and utilities is the International Nuclear System, which is known also as INES. So for the introduction, INES or International Nuclear System hosts one of the world's largest collections of published information on the peaceful use of nuclear science and technology. INES has their own uniqueness and valuable information resource that offers global coverage of nuclear literature. The second one is INES repository contains a lot of collections, such as bibliographic references and full text, documents of conventional and non-conventional literature, and including scientific and technical reports, conference proceedings, patents, and theses. The third one is INES covers all nuclear-based activities, including nuclear engineering and technology, nuclear safety and radiation protection, safeguards and non-proliferations, applications of nuclear and isotope techniques, nuclear and high-energy physics, nuclear and radiation chemistry, nuclear application in life science, legal aspects and environmental and economic aspects of nuclear and non-nuclear energy sources. And last but not least, INES maintains a multilingual thesaurus. INES maintains a multilingual thesaurus in Arabic, Chinese, English, French, German, Japanese, Russian, and Spanish, providing translations of thousands of technical terms that help with navigating and searching the collection. Next is the history or background information about INES. First, INES was started in the year 1957 in order to control and reducing the deep fears and expectations generated by the discoveries and diverse uses of nuclear technology. Second is founded by the US 34th president, is the President Eisenhower. And the third one is the agency was set up as the World Atoms for Peace. So basically, President Eisenhower started this agency just to address the atoms for peace and not for war or so on. And the fourth one is first General Conference were first delegates in October 1957. The conference decided to establish and build the headquarters in the Europe country, that is in Vienna, Austria. Until the opening of the Vienna International Center in August 1979, the old Grand Hotel next to the Vienna Opera House served as the agency temporary headquarters before they start build the real one. And last but not least, INI's first two regional offices located in Toronto, Canada. The INIS has also two regional offices, as I say, in Canada in 1979, also in Tokyo, Japan in 1984, as well as two licensed offices in New York City, United States of America since 1984, also same as the Japan. Next is the mission, vision, and objective. The mission of INIS is to provide quality nuclear information and knowledge management service to the member states, while for the vision, to be the world's most authoritative and comprehensive source of reliable information and knowledge on the peaceful use of nuclear science and technology. And for the objective, their objective is to reflect the goals and needs of member states for the long-term energy strategies that ensure efficiency, safety, and cost benefits and are adequately managed and maintained for the lifetime of the facility. Participation or membership for other bodies, countries, association, or types of memberships. First, the process of joining the INIS is fairly simple and easy. Normally, a state would notify the Director General of its desire to join this agency, and the director will submit the application to the board for consideration. Next, the state is considered a member when its acceptance letter is deposited. The United States then informs the agency, which notifies other agency member states. Signature and ratification the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty are not preconditions for membership in this agency. Next is currently the participation of the IAEA from other countries contains 171 members. Most of the members are from the UN members and the Holy See. The non-member states are the Cape Verde 2007, Tonga on 2011, Comoros 2014, and Gambia in 2016. All of them joined in the different year, and all of their membership have been approved and considered become member states. And last but not least, there are some states that withdrawn from this agency. The states are such as like North Korea. North Korea was a member state before in 1974 and to 1994. The state withdrew after the Board of Governors found it is not compliant with its safeguards that has stated in the agreement, and automatically suspended most technical cooperation. And next state is Nicaragua, started to be a member in 1957 and also withdrew their membership in 1967 and rejoined the organization back in 2017. So most of the country are withdraw and came back and rejoined back the organization except for the North Korea. So next, the product or services that INIS provided is first technical cooperation program. The Technical Cooperation Program is the main mechanism and program for transferring nuclear technology to the member states in order helping them to address and solve the key development priorities in areas such as health and nutrition, food and agriculture, water and the environment, industrial applications, and nuclear knowledge. The program also helps member states to identify and meet future energy needs and assist in improving radiation safety and nuclear security worldwide, including through the provision and legislative assistance. Next, the second one is coordinated a research project. The IAEA encourages and assists research on and teaches how to develop and practical use on the atomic energy and its applications for peaceful and good purposes throughout the world. It brings together the research institution for its developing and develop their member states to collaborate to their research project. And the third one is review mission and advisory services. The IAEA offers to the member states a wide range of review services, which is IAEA lead team of experts compare actual practices with their standards. For example, nuclear safety and security, energy and safeguards, or the health sector. The fourth one is laboratory services. They maintain several specialist laboratories that support all of the activities to develop innovative technologies and provide training. There are also a number of important technical and analytical services to the member states and other laboratories, ranging from the providing reference material to the calibration of equipment, tools, and testing surveys. And the fifth one is key program, reflecting the amount of growth is one of the important and key sectors in the nuclear field. They has created several specialized programs. These focus on the cancer therapy, nuclear safety and security, and innovative nuclear reactors and fuel cycles. And the sixth one is education and training. This agency offers a wide spectrum of education and training activities. These include face-to-face training, courses, and workshops, as well as online learning, fellowship programs, and school on various nuclear-related topics. And the last one is network. The IAEA maintains a number of international networks whose main goal is to strengthen international cooperation and dialogue on nuclear technology, facilitate cooperation between network participants, and help them share experience and expertise. Next is the benefits. There are four benefits. First are to share the peaceful use of nuclear science and technology to help the countries achieve their development goals. And the second one is the IAEA has been contributing effectively to sustainable development. The third one is provide support based on countries' development priorities. And last but not least, to educate the public about nuclear information. The INIS future planning is INIS should remain a self-governed, non-profit, collaborative system of member states and international organizations throughout the future. INIS needs to be creative and innovative technology to achieve the desired purpose, since they are the main nuclear agency that serve to 171 member states. Point of view about the organization. INIS give many benefits to its member states and international states regarding nuclear information and knowledge. INIS database are free searchable, reliable, and contain up-to-date data. I suggest that INIS provides more information on their website, because nowadays there's many non-authentic websites on the internet, and most of them are sharing non-reliable information. If INIS take this action, I bet many people will use the website and get new knowledge throughout their website. This makes user can keep a track about the new nuclear information. I think the INIS organization provides a big hand in information management. So the conclusion is INIS is one of the important organizations that have ever exist. They provide everything that member states and the public needs. Without their existence, I think the world become a hectic place, because do not have any knowledge about nuclear. They might use the nuclear without hesitation, and they not knowing bad things will happen. So with INIS, they provide a proper information and uses about the nuclear for peaceful use, and get to educate the member states. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, for next, for section B, national and international organization involved in bibliographic control and activities. Alright, for the first choice, we choose the National Library of Malaysia, which is NLM. Alright, for the NLM introduction. Okay, the National Library of Malaysia is the leading library in the region that provides knowledge and research information in different media from all sectors of society. It keeps all records texts and literature, and about a country under a variety of legal provisions and tools contains publications and about the entire country for future generation as well. Every national library's main function is to conserve and extend the use of collections in their countries, as well as collections about countries published outside the country. Each piece of information is therefore stored in Malaysia's National Library, as it is the central focal points for the Central Information System. The National Libraries of Malaysia's philosophy is to grow culturally advanced individuals with a passion for knowledge acquired through lifelong lectures to promote simulations towards excellence, those contributing to creativity that strengthens the knowledge traditions the country. Last, the organization responsibility for supplying present and future generation with a gathering of information at the national level. The National Library is a bibliographic center and will be a reference point for all contents. Next, we move to the history or background information for National Library Malaysia. In 1956, Malaysia Library Group (MLG) sent a memorandum entitled Public Library Service from Malay Federation. The aim of this memorandum is to recommend that a national library board be formed which will hold executive authorities to implement the national service. Several professional associations and organizations from 1959 to 1961 also worked together to build the National Library. Parliament passed the National Library on 1 September 1972, and the research stations at the sixth floor of the UMBC building was open to the public. Therefore, in 1982, Malaysia's National Library was the source of the International Standard Book Number (ISBN). The National Library was declared a Malay Manuscript Center in 1983. Preservation of 1966 Books Act was replaced with 1986 Deposit of Library Materials Act. According to this act, each publisher must send the National Library 5 copies of tangible materials and 2 copies of non-tangible materials based on the rule. In 1990, the National Library starts using the online public access catalog, which is OPAC, and finding any material is simple for the user library. The National Library has been given the responsibility of supplying the library contents such as books to the University of Ohio Malaysia Resource Center. Okay, next, we continue for mission, vision, and objective for NLM. For mission, improving the delivery of quality information resource through library service to create acknowledged societies. This ensuring that all Malaysians have fair access to library resource and facility as well as the right to use Malaysian and universal knowledge of the cultural heritage through a national integrated online library network. For the vision, the National Library of Malaysia strives to be the region's leading library that can provide all segments of society with reference and research knowledge in diverse media. Malaysia's National Library aims to be the leading library in the world that can provide information and research awareness in diverse media across all segments of society. For the objective, Section 3 of the National Library Act Amendment 1987 as provided for in Part 2 first is to make available a comprehensive collection of library service for the benefits of the current and future generations. Second is to promote national access to library service available both within the and outside the country. Third, to provide leadership and on library-related matters. Okay, next for the points for participation or membership from the artist bodies, country association, or type of membership for NLM is from the beginning on the establishment of Malaysia's National Library is put under which under its minister. The minister is the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, the Ministry of Culture, Arts and Tourism, the Ministry of Youth and School Culture, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Culture, Art and Heritage, the Ministry of Culture, Unity and Heritage, the Ministry of Media, Communication and Culture, and last but not least, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. The Singapore Librarians Association has a friendship and collaboration with the Malaysian Library Association in founding members of the subcommittee on microforms, which is SCOM, in May 1968. The mission of membership of the subcommittee on microform SCOM is to enhance heritage resource protection through the exchange of information according to the standard format that is recognized in accordance with the latest technology. The National Library of Malaysia has been working as a member of United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, which is UNESCO, since 16 June 1958. This program focuses on 4 terms, which are first, reading in all its form; second, book industry technology growth; third, inclusiveness and digital accessibility, and the last one is children's empowerment by reading. Every 18 supported by UNESCO will collaborate with the Malaysian National Library. IFLA is the leading international body that represents the interests of library and information services and users thereof. IFLA's works as a member of the National Library supports a high standards of providing and delivering library and information services, facilitates a common appreciation of the importance of good libraries and information services, and also serve our members' interests around the world. In addition, NLM also cooperates with other Malaysian libraries such as Perpun Library, University Library, and National Library of Malaysia. Perpun is a joint forum between the heads of university libraries and the National Libraries of Malaysia's Directors General. Among the topics addressed are the development of a network and higher educational electronic libraries, the one online service between the academic libraries in Malaysia, and the joint procurement of material schemes. Next is the National Cataloging and Classification Committee. The National the National Library chairs the National Committee for Cataloging and Classifications, which comprise the libraries. The National Library representative is committee chair. The National Book Council and National Council for the Blind Malaysia. NLM participates in the events of the International Book Fair 2001. Also, they are a member of the Blind Malaysia National Council. The National Council for the Blind Malaysia's Committee is for Library and Information Technology in collaboration with the National Library. Next, last but not least, Malaysian Resource Center Overseas. The University of Ohio, USA, attends the Royal Institute of Linguistics and Anthropology, KITLV, Leiden, the Netherlands, and the University of Victoria, Wellington, New Zealand, has established 3 overseas Malaysian resource centers. This resource center supports the program offered at these institutions in Malaysia and Malaysia. Not only that, it is also participating or membership of any body, country, association, or other types of membership with the National Library of Malaysia, such as the VTLC user group, public sector and data dictionary committee, and more others. Next, we move to the product and service for NLM. Okay, there are many services that are provided to the publisher and also the public user by the National Library. Reference service, lending service, and even electronic information facility are for the service that the National Library offers to the public center. The public consumer may obtain information from the reference service provided by the National Library to fulfill their assignments or study. Besides, Malaysia's National Library offers lending facility where the public users can borrow the books to read it for 2 or 3 days. For programs related to online media, all collections are accessible to library users as a reference source of different subjects. National libraries offer advisory and consultancy service to organizations for consultation service who may be preparing to build a new library or upgrade existing library services. Next, International Standard Serial Number ISSN Cataloging in Publications CIP and International Standard Book Number ISBN is the facility that the National Library offers to publisher. Any publisher may apply ISSN as all series are eligible for ISSN and are provided free by the National ISSN Center. The ISSN has to be modified prior to printing. The ISSN is relevant as for every published series issue the number show identification code. Malaysia's National Library has it opaque accessible through the internet and its Malaysian content repositories such as index to Malaysian newspapers, conference proceedings and selected articles available on CD-ROM. Alright, next we move to benefits of NLM. Okay, NLM can provide reference and research information for all levels of the country society in different media. It keeps all document, manuscript, and literature of and about a nation under some legal provisions, and those represent publication of and about the entire nation for a user, also for a for generation to come. NLM also promoting and supporting the inculcation of the reading habits. We provide the users with a lot of facilities so that users always get a nice atmosphere for reading and learning through media and digital literacy. Okay. In addition, it also coordinates all library in line with other libraries around the world. The National Library of Malaysia keeps prepare users with the latest materials, as the National Library is responsible for other libraries in the region. Okay, last but not least, a National Library can act as an advisor to the Ministry on library policy. Malaysia's National Library became the focal point of information system for the nation. Okay, next for the future planning for NLM. Among the future plans are to boost the study and development of libraries, expanding nation and foreign collaboration to achievement international recognition is amongst the aspects that should be strengthened. Furthermore, national libraries need to strengthen the growth of their library cards to ensure librarians are active in national and international entrepreneurial programs. Last but not least, the plans are to strengthen the preservation and intellectual property in the nation. Among the things that will be improved is to reinforce the preservation of the country's intellectual heritage through the national depository and security system and the collection of Malaysian manuscripts. Okay, next, for the points of view about the organization for NLM. Okay, my points is NLM must have more digital content in line with the library materials that user can access anywhere at any time as they are nowadays many barriers that render users unable to physically go to the library. Other than that, the National Library can put more stuff that is full of color with colorful chairs and tables. It will also be enjoyable for kids to come to the national libraries and learn their opportunity to read if they want to joyfully come to the national library. Last but not least, National Library should do, however, is to offer a more restful place so that people can chill out when reading a book. Malaysia's National Library will have an open place for visitors to enjoy the fresh air. The last part in this National Library presents is conclusion. The overall is the National Library of Malaysia is one of the best places because it is a type of information institution that provides information in Malaysia and other information centers. Other bodies have a lot of interest irrespective of the government or private sector involved with the NLM as it is an information center and head of information management in our country. All who work especially in this information organization are known as the information professionals, such as center have their own role of managing their own country and ensuring that their divisions profit missing a specific user because it is for public use. The National Library acts as a national information repository and has legal protection, which is a legal obligation provided in their country. In Malaysia, for instance, there is an act requiring all publishers to send each copy of their publications to the National Library within 1 month of being released to the Library Director General. The aim of creating the National Library is to provide for the current and future use of National Library collections, promote nationwide access to accessible and domestic library service, and provide leadership in library-related matters. Alright, that's all from us. Next, we move to the next choice.
Next is the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, also known as UNESCO. So, for the introduction, the first one is UNESCO is a specialized agency of the United Nations. They aim to contributing to the building of peace, the reduction of poverty, sustainable development, and intercultural dialogue through educations, the science, culture, communications, and informations. It is the successor of the League of the Nations International Committee on Intellectual Cooperation. The second point is UNESCO has 193 member states and 11 associate members. And the third one is the main headquarters is in the famous Europe country, that is France. Most of its field office are clustered office that cover 3 or more countries. National and regional office also exists. So the fourth one is UNESCO seeks and motivate to build a culture and peace. Culture and peace and inclusive knowledge societies through information and communication. To that end, it pursues its objective through 5 major programs area, which is education, natural science, social human science, culture, and communication information. So last but not least is assist in translating and disseminating world literature. World literature, establishing international cooperation agreements to secure World Heritage Sites of cultural and natural importance, preserving human rights, and bringing the worldwide digital divide. It also launched and leads the education for all movement and lifelong learning. Next is the history or background information for the UNESCO. Year of 1942, during the war era, the governments of the European countries which were confronting Nazi Germany and its allies, they met in the United Kingdom for the Conference of Allied Minister of Education. The Second World War was far from over, yet those countries were looking for ways and means to reconstruct and build again their systems of education once peace was restored. Very quickly, the project gained momentum and soon took a universal note. More new governments, including that or the United States, come and join. The second is, upon the proposal to came, a United Nations conference for the establishment of an educational and cultural organization was convened in London. As I said before, CAME is a conference of elite ministers of education. So, a United Nations conference was covered in London until the 16th November 1945. Scarcely had the war ended when the conference opened. It gathered together the representative of all 44 countries who decide to create an organization that will embody a genuine culture of peace. And the next point is, the end of the conference, 37 countries founded the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO. And the last one is the political divisions of Second World War marked the composition of the founding member states of UNESCO. It was not until 1951 that Japan and the Federal Republic of Germany became members, and Spain was accepted in 1953. Other major historical factors such as the Cold War, the decolonization process, and the dissolution of the USSR also left their trace on UNESCO. The USSR joined UNESCO in 1954 and was replaced by the Russian Federation in 1982, alongside 12 former Soviet republics. And yeah, that's it. So next is the mission, vision, and objective. For the mission is to UNESCO wants to contribute to the building of a culture of peace, the eradication of poverty, sustainable development, and intercultural dialogue through education, the science, culture, communication, and information. While for the vision is a world where every person has access to relevant quality education and lifelong learning. And objective, UNESCO wants to contribute peace and security for all the people in the world by promoting collaboration among nations through education, science, culture, and communication in order to further universal respect for justice, for the rule of law, and for the human rights and the fundamental freedoms which are affirmed for the people of the world without distinction of race, sex, language, or religion. Next is the participation or membership for other bodies, countries, association, or types of membership for the UNESCO. UNESCO has 193 members and 11 associate members. All of the members of UNESCO is governed and referred by the Articles 1st and Rules 98 to 101 of the Rules of Procedure of General Conference. Next is the membership of the United Nations carries with it the right to be a member of UNESCO. States that are not from the members of United Nations, as known as UN, may be admitted to UNESCO upon recommendations of the Executive Board, followed by the two-thirds majority vote of the General Conference. And the last one is territories or group of territories that are not responsible for the conduct of their international relations may be admitted as the associate members. It means that their admission and their rights and obligations are determined by the General Conference. Most member states have established permanent delegations to UNESCO, which, headed by the ambassadors, undertake liaison between the organization and the government. Next is product or services. The first one is education. UNESCO believes that education is a human right for all throughout life, and that access must be matched by quality. The organization is the only United Nations agency with a mandate to cover all aspects of education. It has been entrusted to lead the Global Education 2030 agenda through Sustainable Development Goal 4. So next one is protecting the heritage. In today's interconnected world, culture's power to transform societies is clear. Its diverse manifestations from our cherished historic monuments and museums to traditional practices and contemporary art forms enrich our everyday lives in countless ways. Heritage constitutes a source of identity and cohesion for communities disrupted by bewildering change and economic instability. And the third one is science for our future. Creating knowledge and understanding through science equips us to find solutions to today's acute economic, social, and environmental challenges and to achieving sustainable development and greener societies. As no one country can achieve sustainable development alone, international scientific cooperation contributes not only to scientific knowledge but also to building peace. And the fourth one is social and human science. In today's increasingly diverse societies, UNESCO continues to accomplish every day its fundamental humanist mission to support people in understanding each other and working together to build lasting peace. UNESCO also helps to enable people to create and use knowledge for just and inclusive societies. And last one is communication and information. The communication and information sector strive to foster freedom of expression, media development, and access to information and knowledge in line with UNESCO mandate that is to promote the free flow of ideas by word and image. Their progress directly contribute to achieving the Sustainable Development Goal set out in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, with specific attention to the social, political, and economic mutations of the digital age. Next is benefits. There are three. The first one is provides proper education for all people without knowing their race and religion. And second is UNESCO wants to preserve and conserve all buildings and historic sites for a good use in the future. And last one is building peace for the world. Building peace for the world. We eventually don't want a world that is hectic and full with war, right? So yeah. So the future planning, UNESCO has two main future planning in this current time. So first is the academies and free school in England. This paper looks at the core research that England has drawn from to develop its policy of decentralization and school empowerment. Since 2002, the country has moved towards creating more academies and free schools that enter in a direct contract with the government and thusly enjoy more autonomy and discretion in how to use public funds. So next is educational policies to overcome school segregation in Catalonia. School segregation in growing challenges in many contemporaries such as politics, economy, in education system, which can have vast implications on school performance, educational inequality, and social cohesion. In Catalonia, a recent influx of immigrant students has resulted in more acute segregation. So the points of view about UNESCO. UNESCO gives many benefits to its member states and to the public regarding information and knowledge and proper education. In my opinion, UNESCO should focus more on the African country or more the country that are not really developed and more to a poor country instead of focusing on the more modernized and developed country, because Africa, such as Africa, needs more attention than the ones like in England. UNESCO must help the African nation to become more prosperous country and help them to produce educated people. We want all countries are the same, nobody left behind. So that's why I suggest UNESCO needs to focus more on the poor countries. Not only Africa, maybe such as Palestine or even Vietnam, and yeah. And last, for the conclusion, in conclusion, UNESCO is really important for all of us and not only for the world and for the future. UNESCO has give a lot of benefits and importance in our life, such as giving us a good education, access to proper education, share different cultures to the other side of the world, and improve the quality of humans' life. Without UNESCO, some people will not get the right as the human itself, such as the people in the Africa who are lacking in many sides such as food and education. UNESCO proves to us that they are the best organization that have ever existed and do what they have said and promised, and they do give a lot of benefits to the people without we realizing. So that's it from me. Thank you.